Come to Egypt for a time travel experience.
Egypt is one of the most famous countries of the African continent, which has Muslim and cultured people. Due to its special and warm climate, this country has special plant resources that have multiplied its beauty. Egypt currently has a population of over 109 million people, which of course is added to this population day by day. If you are interested in history and civilization, you would definitely like to visit this historical country once. But if you don't have the conditions to travel to this country, or you want to get to know the details of this country before traveling, stay with us in the rest of this video. The capital of Egypt is Cairo, which is very ideal for living in terms of welfare features. This city has a large population, and many people are engaged in agriculture. This shows that the main source of income for most people in Egypt is agriculture. The availability of good welfare facilities, access to educational services, the possibility of earning income with minimal capital, and so on, have made Cairo one of the most immigrant-friendly cities in Egypt. The last survivor of the 7 wonders of the ancient world is the pyramids of Giza, which has a universal compass. These pyramids have always amazed travelers and are usually at the top of the list of popular tourist attractions. Most tourists, upon entering Egypt, first visit this attraction. These memorial buildings of the pharaohs still create a breathtaking sight on the outskirts of the desert near Cairo that excites tourists. No one leaves Egypt without seeing these pyramids. The city of Luxor, located next to the Nile River, is famous for its attractions such as the Valley of the Kings, the Karnak Temple, and the Hatshepsut Memorial Temple, and has numerous tourist attractions. This ancient city was the power base of the pharaohs and has more sights than one can see in a visit. Luxor is known as the largest open-air museum in the world due to the large number of historical attractions. If you spend a few days exploring the colorful wall paintings in the tombs and marvel at the grandeur of the columns in the temples, you will understand why Luxor always captivates historians and archaeologists. Cruise tours on the Nile. The country of Egypt is defined by the Nile River. For many tourists, multi-day cruises on this famous waterway, which witness the rise and fall of pharaohs, have been one of the most attractive activities of traveling to Egypt. Cruising the Nile and watching the sunrise and sunset is the most relaxing way to see the temples that line the river between Luxor and Aswan. Cruises stop by the old temples on this route. If you prefer a quieter experience away from the tourists, you can cruise the Nile on traditional Egyptian wooden boats with vintage sails. Many cruises depart from Luxor and Aswan, but Floca can only be chartered from Aswan for multi-day trips. Beneath the surface of the Red Sea, there is another world that is as fascinating as the temples and tombs on land. The coral reefs of the Red Sea are famous for their colorful corals and diverse marine life, from colorful reef fish to sharks, dolphins, and turtles. The most famous city for divers is Sharm el-Sheikh in the Sinai Peninsula, which is the closest city to Ras Mohammed National Park and the narrow Straits of Tiran. The most peaceful city in Egypt is Aswan, which is located on the winding path of the Nile River. With a backdrop of sand dunes, this city is the perfect place to stop and rest for a few days and soak in the peaceful atmosphere. This city is the southernmost and one of the smallest cities in Egypt. Take a boat ride on the river to Elephantine Island and stroll through the colorful village streets. Then take a camel ride to the desert monastery of St. Simeon on the east coast of Aswan. Afterwards, relax in one of the floating restaurants and enjoy your meal while watching the old flocas with their sails. Aswan is one of the most important historical cities in Egypt and has many historical sites. Some of the famous historical places in Aswan are Abu Simbel Temple, Unfinished Obelisk, Elephantine Island, Kalabsha Temple. This video was our first trip to Egypt, and without a doubt, the beauty, charms, and sightseeing of Egypt cannot be summed up in one video. We have not yet talked about the Egyptian Museum, the Sphinx, the coastal area of South Sinai, and many other tourist sites in Egypt. So wait for the next episodes. The Indian flag is a national symbol and a great honor for the people of India and is always used in official ceremonies, celebrations, and important events of the country as a symbol of national unity and identity.